Hi. So I'm going to be going over your summer assignment. Summer assignment is something we'll expect of you both this summer and next summer going into your senior year. They're both very helpful and in general help us kind of get the ball rolling. And so whatever date we go back to school in fall, you want to show up with this because we'll be using it immediately in that school week. So in general, we are asking you to read two separate texts. The first text is How to Read Literature Like a Professor, a lively and entertaining guide to reading between the lines. This book is going to be very helpful for you, especially in your English classes this year. Mr. Smith is really excited about using it. It's going to be very helpful, especially if you're taking the AP Literature course. So be prepared. You want to read and annotate this, and then you're going to use that information to help you as well with your second text. So first step, read How to Read Literature Like a Professor. Annotate that. Second one is that you need to select one of the following five texts below: Angels in America, Beloved, Catch-22, Grapes of Wrath, or The Crucible. We do suggest, if you can, buy your own copy of that text so that you can properly annotate it. You're going to be asked to include the How to Read Literature Like a Professor concepts to a group project based around that book in the first week of school. So that's why we're having you staggered in this order. If you have any questions with access to either of these books, email Mr. Smith. His email is listed right there, and he'll be able to help you. Also, in general, if you have any other questions regarding the reading itself, he'll do his best to answer that. We selected these works because they are all very diverse in the different topics that they tackle. They'll also be very helpful in applying to the National History Day theme that we'll be looking at in the fall and next year regarding basically communication. There are, some classic American texts, some newer American texts. So you really have, based off this list, you should really be able to find one of these five should be interesting to you, or hopefully, to say the least. We tried to make them somewhat more engaging than just traditional, more long, boring summer reads. So hopefully you're able to find one you like. I've included a synopsis of each. I won't be reading the synopsis. You can go through and see which one kind of catches your fancy there. All right, you've read How to Read Literature Like a Professor. You've selected your book. You've read and annotated that. Now you need to create a project based around that. This is what you have to show up with the first day of school. A couple of different things you can do. We've given you a variety of options. All this is about catering to your strengths and thinking about what you're successful with. So first, for example, if you're more tech savvy, creating a website about the novel. You have a page about author, a page with a synopsis of the novel, character description, summaries, any other relevant information. And the more tech savvy you are, the more you may want to cater to this. And we'll need a link to that live page that day when you come back to school. You can do an interview where you create a transcript for an interview and then perform it in a medium of your choice. You want to include questions that relate to writing style, lead to theme analysis, cultural, social, political climate of the period. Need to be 4 pages, single space, and space between the questions and answers. So basically, you're pretending to be being interviewed about this book. We give you a lot of creative freedom in this. There are very few guidelines we give you because the more creative you are with this, the better. And you're gonna find that throughout the next couple of years, there will be times where we give you very specific guidelines, and then we give you more vague guidelines when it concerns projects and things like that. Because you'll find that in life, sometimes that happens, and sometimes it just and in life you're going to get those really clear guidelines, and students traditionally love those. But here we're going to let you be a little bit more creative and hopefully go outside the box, which is what we're shooting for. Scrapbook, number 3. So you have a scrapbook for one of the characters of the novel, newspaper clippings, magazine articles, ticket stubs, photos. What would accurately reflect this character? You need a short explanation of a couple sentences of each item, why it's relevant, and your final product has to have at least 10 different items. If you're a scrapbooker, if you're someone that really enjoys the kind of memorabilia aspect, that might be right up your alley. Movie trailer. This is another one of those a little bit vague. We don't have necessarily specific directions, except that you are to create a movie trailer for an imaginary film version. You're the director. Your vision is what guides you. You can have classmates, friends, parents, siblings, pets, anyone who wants to serve as the cast for it. Um, they don't necessarily have to be in DVD format. That could be helpful. You could also upload it as like a YouTube link or something like that, as long as we can view it and access it the day that you come back to school. The movie trailer is pretty cool. The idea is that, movie trailers are typically minute and a half, something like that, right? It's kind of that teaser trailer. So you're doing that for the text that you've selected there. Also, and of course, I feel like I said this, but just in case, you're not doing any of these projects about how to read literature like a professor. It's all about one of those other 5 books. Graphic novel. If you're very artsy, this might be right up your alley. You have a series of a minimum of 36 drawings and 36 squares, and that shows a significant event in the novel. Pictures should have dialogue or caption that adequately explains what happens. If you choose this, you're choosing it because you're more artistic. So keep that in mind. That's our expectations there. I am not a very good artist. Stick figures are what you're going to see for the next couple of years for me. So I would probably not select the graphic novel. Try to actually bring it that day as a graphic novel will look like, selected, bound together. Create an on-the-scene report. So this might be someone, I don't know, who's in more of the broadcast realm. You want to change events in the novel into like a breaking news format. And so you might go live into the scene. You're interviewing people who were informed about this event. And you kind of simulate real life reporting, sensationalizing the story, breaking down developments, describing incidents pertinent to the drama. We'll talk about this a lot over the next 2 years about how broadcast media can sensationalize stories. That's something that's happened in American history that we can talk about. And so, you see this in various media platforms today. So you can get a little creative with that. Finally, number 7, the artistic. If you have creative writing talent, visual performing arts, this is your idea here. This is one of the most vague ones because this is where we say, all right, we've given you several options for those of you that need the box. Here's your box. This is at least some guidelines. Last one's kind of up to you if you choose this one. This is if you especially have a specific talent that you can cater to it. You create a whole song based around it. I've seen someone was really good with sculpting in the past, and they made a whole sculpture based around this. So, cater to your passion and talents here. And if there's something that we particularly think could really reflect your novel, your text, go for it. In general, if you have any questions about it, you can email me. You can email Mr. Smith. His email's listed there as well, especially if it's involving something around just the pure English side of it, the literature piece. Email him. It is, of course, summer. We'll do our best to respond in a timely manner, but we have summer jobs, travel, family responsibilities, things like that. So we'll do our best to respond in a timely manner. And in general, we look forward to working with you all when we see you back in the fall and having a great year next year. Thanks.